Hi my lovelies, welcome to the Goddess Enchantments channel. My name is Claire and today we have an Oracle deck review for you. So if you are new here, welcome. I hope you will enjoy my channel and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell, give us a thumbs up, and of course leave me a comment down below if you have this deck. How do you feel about this deck? Because everyone has a different opinion. Everyone is drawn to different things in decks. So it's really lovely to get your responses down below of yes, I love it. I've worked with it for a while. Didn't speak to me. That's Ellen. She says hi. We're not front facing today, so unfortunately you won't be seeing her. So our deck for the day is the Priestess of Light Oracle, which is a 53 card deck with book. It is published by Hay House, comes in the traditional solid tuck box. It's by Sandra and Taylor and Kimberly Weber. It's a little bit different to some other Oracle decks, and we will get into that. So this is obviously your box that you're going to be getting. I feel Ellen's going to want to talk a lot through this. I apologize in advance, guys, but luckily a lot of you are a huge fan of her. So this is your box. Inside you have some writing, we have our book, and of course we have our deck. You also have an image in the base there. It's a very solid box, so you're going to be able to stand this up very easily on a shelf or keep it in a cupboard, something like that, and you don't have to worry that the ends are going to get, you know, mangled up or whatever. It is a very solid box. Then these are the cards, and this is what your book looks like, which is a nice thick one, and we will look at that in a little bit. So let's look at a few of the cards before we talk about them. So here is obviously our back image to the cards. The reason I was drawn to these cards was the art. I just felt a sudden draw as soon as I saw them online. I don't know how I caught a glimpse of them, but I was like, I'm gonna need that deck. So let's look at card number 1. These hopefully are all in the right order, as I've been working with them for a while to give you guys a bit more of a thorough review of them, and I've put them all back in order. So this is what the art is like throughout. You have a number at the top left, which helps you with the guidebook if that's something that you're interested in. You have the title of the card, and then you have your keywords like a lot of other Oracle decks. The images themselves have a lot of depth to them, so if you're an intuitive reader, you're going to get a ton from this deck. If you are someone new, the book is very extensive, as you will see in a little bit. So let's have a look through. Courage, strength, fierceness, and family with the beautiful lion. They are all very muted in color, kind of darker colors, richer colors, golds, that sort of thing. Calming the waters, we're not peefing, peaceful self-reflection. Summoning power. You can see these images, they're just very beautiful and a little bit different as well. There's a lot of decks out there, and don't get me wrong, I own some, I love them, but where goddesses are very modern, quite dressed very modern, that sort of thing, this deck has a little bit of a different edge to it, and the colors really bring that energy through as you start to work with them. So you can see here we've got this divine feminine, and for me this is like strong Egyptian energy. You're seeing the solar disc here, you've got the headdress with the snake, you have the hawk. There's so much detail in there. You can really delve into these cards, meditate with them, and take your work further than a simple oracle reading if that's something that you are called to do. But something you may notice, this is one of the very few cards that references masculine energy in here. I personally do like that because balance in a deck, yes, sometimes it's nice to have an all goddess angle to your decks, and obviously this is Priestess of Light, but whether you're consider yourself a priestess, a priest, any other name, whether you like working with goddess energy, god energy, there is that balance of masculine and feminine within us all and within everything around us in nature as well. So that is represented here too. The one thing you will see is when with the deck, they intuitively picked the order of the deck. So they say themselves in the book that sometimes you will get cards next to each other that have very, very similar energies to them. So they recommend reading the book first to kind of tell you the story of that and allow you to see the subtle differences between two cards that technically would be together if they were all in number. That's not something I like to do or want to do and have not done, because I feel it kind of interrupts my intuitive process. But for some, that may be an actual, draw point of the deck. Another thing with this deck is when the artist did this art, she actually, as a medium, added crystals into the original art pieces. So ground up crystals and crystal pigments. Now, this is something a lot of people are doing in artwork now in the spiritual community. I own a few originals myself that have got like lapis pigments and stuff used as the blue color, has ground up crystals put into the paint to add energy. And in the book, the only part of the book I've read is the beginning, so I could give you a real outlay of it. I love this by the way. In the book, they say that energy comes through, oh, here comes Ellen, comes through in the cards to you, the crystal energy. I think that's going to either sit with you as something you resonate with and feel, or something you personally just don't resonate with. For myself, I don't feel the crystal energy in the paint of an original painting can come through the cards just as easy as, sorry about Ellen guys, take a picture of it, print it, and you're going to have that energy there. Like I said, I have some originals myself. I've taken photos of them to work with during ritual, and I don't get that crystal connection. But for some of you, you very well may do, and that again could be a draw. So I always give you what could be considered pros for some, what could be cons for others, so that you can really think, do I need this deck in my collection? Because let's face it, we all have a lot of decks at this point. So you start to become a little bit more choosy with the decks you're adding in perhaps, and what you're spending your money on. But the energy here, I mean, just look at that earth magic, fearlessness, removing obstacles. That picture to me is so energetic. There's so much there without all the, the crystal energies and other things going on. I mean, look at that. Healing the heart. And if you really, really look into here, you're going to find aspects of sacred geometry, so many different little tidbits of information for you to work with. Abundance, obviously representing the goddess Lakshmi. I love working with Lakshmi. She has her own altar with Lord Ganesha in our home. Well, actually, they have two. Look at those elephants. Are they not just fabulous? This I would actually love. I wonder if, I'm sure there is prints. Wisdom. A lot of these cards are connected to specific deities, and others are simply connected to an energy. So we'll have a look at that when we get to the guide book. Now, the cardstock is a good cardstock, but the one thing I have to comment on with this deck is the corners, the edges just damage and scuff so easily. I'm not even someone that's going to split the deck and do like a full-on shuffle with them. That's just not how I like to shuffle. So my shuffle's a lot more of a gentle, what you would expect shuffle. And yet they already are very, very nicked up. So it's something to be thoughtful of how you're going to shuffle them. And if you're a professional reader, I mean, you can see already, that's a good example. You can see already this damage here. And a lot of you have seen me shuffle. I am a very gentle shuffler. Okay, sorry guys, I had to put Ellen outside. She was just treading on every single piece of paper she could find, and I'm sure that's going to be annoying a lot of you. So yes, they get nicked up very, very easily, and because these cards are dark colours and not bright, it's very noticeable when you get this white showing on them. So that's my only real disappointment on that side of things. We have some more shadow energies here as well, which again, I find this deck to be quite balanced. It's got clairvoyance. There's just, when you think of the aspects of your life that when you turn to an oracle deck, some people say to me, Claire, oh, I've got X oracle deck and you know, it's always happy and fluffy. And then when I want to go deeper into shadow work, or if I want to look at a situation that's very stressful, that's got a lot of layers to it, that's family related, the cards just don't go deep enough for me. Then this might be a deck that you would consider adding to your collection, because there's a lot of depth here. It does allow you to expand. See, look, there's another nick. And when I say I've been working with these, I have not been working with them or with clients during healing sessions or anything. I've literally been using them for personal use, and I have not had this deck long at all. So that is definitely something to consider. Love that. Is that not just beautiful, that card? Look at the colour there. Oh my gosh. The cards are beautiful. There's no denying this is some truly stunning artwork. Beautifully energetic. I mean, look at that. Just wonderful. You could really just dive into that during meditation. How beautiful. So you're really covering a lot here in one deck, and that I really, really love. Like I said, it's so extensive. It covers so many different energies, so many different things that could be going on in your life. If you're looking for your first deck and you're on YouTube looking at walkthroughs and reviews to see, you know, where should I invest my money, this is going to be one that you're going to be able to grow with as someone reading Oracle. There's space for you to start with, you know, just some little like card of the day readings, maybe some 3 or 4 card readings. But then as you grow in your practice, or if you're already advanced in your practice, they also have that depth for you. So that is the deck itself and the cards. Let's pop those aside for a minute. And then this is our book. So you've got plenty of info in the front here. You've got your numbers so that if you are using the deck, number on the left hand side, you can match it to here and it will tell you the page, which I like because it makes it easier for those that really like a book. About the art, and it tells you here about the sacred geometry, mandalas, about the crystal energy and frequencies she uses in her art. And then Sandra, who has written the book here, talks her process of doing that. Then it's about the deck itself. Then reading the cards, as you would expect in almost any deck these days. There is an invocation there for starting your reading and calling in the guides and your guidance, about questions. So if you are a beginner, this is actually quite a nice extensive book on getting you started. The only thing I don't believe there is any kind of talk of cleansing your deck and blessing it, or I may have missed it. Now it's got some little spreads for you. 3 card, 7 card cross, 9 card spread, energy circle, the road, that's a very big one. And then we go into the meanings of the cards themselves. So there's no pictures in here. I know for some that is a deal breaker that use the book because they want to have a small representation of the image. This book does not have that, so it's something to point out, but you will get the card number, the keyword again, and then sort of the energies of the card. Then it will tell you about the card, and each card has an affirmation to it, and they continue forward like that. So for example, if we have a look at courage here, the lion, let me actually get that card out and we will have a look at it together because I think that's always nice. So I'll move over and here's your card that you can have a look at and see if you can match those energies and how you feel. So the lion looks ahead to the time before him with a tranquil courage, ready for anything. He reveals that an important event is on the horizon for you. A situation may require that you summon up your courage and perhaps even take a few risks. The lion is known as the king of the beasts because of his mighty roar and regality. This situation facing you may involve direct action or strong communication of some sort. You must have the courage to express your truth and make your desires known, and to take action on your own behalf, no matter what or whom you're dealing with. The word courage comes from the French word for heart. This card is telling you that even if you have felt uncertain or frightened in the past, you now have the strength of heart to face your life with the self-actualized clarity. Whether it's regarding a relationship or a situation at work or at home, the action you engage in or expression of your truth now will be blessed by the purity of your own divine heart. The lion is a social animal that lives in family groups, so on a practical level, this card may be sending a message regarding that experience. You may need to care for a family member or encourage them to take greater care of themselves. A new member of the family may also be coming your way. Affirmation: I bring the courage of my soul to all the issues of my life. I stand in my true power now and always. So you can kind of see what's come through there, and with the card, if you're someone that's going to be using the book, you can kind of now compare, okay, so that's what that says. Do I see that in the card? Is that something I'm resonating with? As an intuitive reader, there's so much more I get from this card than that, but it gives space for you to go deeper. Even if you're starting with the book, continue to delve into your cards, continue to meditate with them. You could certainly use these as focus in ritual work, for example. And then your book just continues along those lines all the way through to the back, where you've got just some information as always about the author, and that is the end of your book basically. Just pop you back in there and bring the deck back over. So in summary of the Priestess of Light Oracle, I love this deck. It is a reasonably good card stock, except for the fact that it really does ding, and it dings from the very first shuffle. My first shuffle with these cards led to damage on the edges, which is something to bear in mind. But when it comes to the depth of the images, the artwork, the sheer scope of the energies and work you can do with this particular deck, I really think it is a valuable deck to have in your collection if you're looking for a new one, or if you're just starting. It's certainly got everything here that a beginner needs to start you off in the process, and then for you to go deeper with. So it has a lot to offer you. It's not like a private deck. It is obviously published by Hay House, so it is slightly more affordable than certain other decks as well. And like I said, it's easily accessible. You can get it from Amazon, so many different places online. Certainly I've found meditating with these cards really, really wonderful. I can truly delve deep into them, and as I said, you will find as you go through the different goddesses associated with the different cards through the work that the artist and the writer have made, as well as making some of your own connections in those cards that are more energetic based and perhaps not of a specific deity. So you can really build out and go very, very deep with these cards. You can use them as support in your ritual. They can be used as a simple card of the day, and they will give you a lot there. So it's up to you how much you take from them in that respect. But also, if you want to sit down and do a full couple of months ahead reading, dive deep into a specific issue or a specific working you want to do, something in your life situation, you've got that scope there to deal with, yes, all the happiness and all the wonderfulness, but also to delve deeper into your soul work and the healing that you need to do. So I really hope that this review has been helpful to you. As I mentioned, let me know down below if you have this deck, if you're planning to pick up this deck, or if this deck just simply does not appeal to you. Let us know that as well, and instead, what is your favorite deck? Because I'm always looking for new decks. I'm sure everyone watching this video is always looking for new decks as well. So if you haven't already, I would love it if you came over and joined my closed Facebook group. We have crystal sales over there. I have the Goddess Circle subscription box, which you've probably seen the unboxings of on my channel. We have Sabbath kits that we make, candles, all sorts of wonderful spiritual tools, and it's a really great community to boot over in our group. And you can come and see other people's altars and rituals. All those links will be in the drop down for you. Thank you for joining me today for this, wow, I mean, for me, a beautiful deck that we have been reviewing. I will speak to you all very soon. Blessed be.